Okay. Hey, and welcome back to this episode of Braid Talk Tuesday. I do apologize. We were having some technical difficulties, but hopefully everything should be okay now. We are jumping into a brand new topic tonight. Really, I wanted to continue the conversation on from last week. We've been talking about just being booked, about being burnt out, we've been talking about what it really takes to really run successful braid businesses. That's always going to be a part of my conversation because it is literally my everyday life of experiencing what it actually takes to build a sustainable, profitable, long lasting, life changing, purpose driven braid business. So if you are new and you are new to Braid Talk Tuesday, if you are new to my YouTube channel, this is just something that I like to do to help keep the conversation going and also help others who are in this industry as well. So, as you are coming into the live, please go ahead, drop in the comments, okay, where you're watching the live from. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop your questions in as well. If you are returning after our technical difficulties, I thank you so much for being diligent to come and sit and have this conversation with me. I am newly navigating through YouTube, so it is a little bit different. So I am going to start by saying, if you can hear me, please drop a number one in the comments if the audio is good. Okay. And we will go ahead and jump right into tonight's topic. Okay. Everybody wants to be booked until it's time to run the business. Okay. Again, if you can hear me, please drop a number one in the comments so that I can see that you are here. If you don't want to drop a number one in the comments, just go ahead and drop your name in the comments so that I know who I'm speaking with, and we'll go on from there. Also, okay, perfect. So my husband says that he could hear. Okay, great, 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 great. So again, if you are just jumping on, I want you to tell me, where are you right now? Where are you at in your journey? What kind of braider are you? Are you full time? Okay, great. I'm seeing some ones coming in. Tell me, where are you in your journey? Okay. And you might not be a braider. So if you're not a braider, let me know where you are in the beginning of, or where you are at your current stage in your business right now. Are you just starting out? Are you like, listen, I am just starting. I don't have any clients yet right now. I'm still trying to build. I don't even know what the first step is to do in order to build. Okay. And if that's where you are, I mean, that's fine. That's where we all started. Okay. Every entrepreneur, every braider, every person in the beauty industry, we all started off with no clientele, no appointments booked, no booking sites. Like, we all start from ground zero. Okay. Now, are you part time? Right? Are you just kind of getting your feet into it? Like, okay, I have a couple clients, they're returning, right? But this is not my full time thing. Maybe you still work. I know plenty of braiders who just braid part time. They have full time jobs and maybe they just braid on the weekends, or it's just something maybe that they work during the day and they take a couple of appointments at night. Or maybe you have the aspiration of being full time, but right now you are just in this part time stage. Okay. And then if you're full time like me, I want you to go ahead, drop that you are full time in the comments so that I know exactly, again, who I'm speaking to. Being a full time braider is no easy feat. Okay. It comes with a lot, especially when you add content creation is a part of your business. It does really and truly take a lot. So if you're a full time braider, let me know in the comments that you are braiding full time. So let's go ahead and get into our first slide. Okay. I have a question for you. You might be booked, but are you really ready? Okay. That is my question to you. And I'm going to just say it again. You might be booked, but are you really ready? Are And when I say are you ready, I mean like are your systems ready? Are Do you have everything that you need in place in order to really run your braid business and not let the braid business run you? So the question is that if 10 new clients, okay, came into your inbox, came into your DMs literally right now, okay, came into your DMs and wanted to book an appointment, needed an appointment for, this upcoming week, would you be ready for them? Okay. And this is a question that I hope that each braider, will ask themselves because it is something that we often need to be prepared for. We don't know from one day to the next sometimes when that time is going to come or when that influx is going to come. And so if you're not at that place in your business, I want you to treat your business as if the people are coming. I want you to build it as though they are coming. Remember that if you build it, they will come. And how do you build it? You build it through creating good systems. Okay. So the question is, if 10 new clients hit your DMs today, would you be ready for them? Would your business be ready for them? Would your systems be ready for them? Do you have a booking site? Would your booking site have everything that it needs? Would your availability be listed? Would your location be listed? Like all of the things that they would need. Would your styles be updated? Are the photos of your styles updated? These are all of the things that you want to absolutely take into consideration when it comes to building a strong braid business. Okay. Now, another thing, you know, everybody, we talk about being booked and busy. We praise being booked and busy. We glorify being booked and busy. And me personally, I am just in this season where it's not so much about being booked and busy for me. It's about being booked and it's about being balanced and it's about having systems that work. Okay. Systems that work for me, systems that work for my business. So if you are recognizing that, wow, this really sounds like where I'm at right now. Like, okay, yes, of course I want to be booked, but sometimes it stresses me out when my clients cancel and now I've just lost out on the appointment, right? So let me ask right now for those of you who are watching, or even if you're catching the replay, do you have a deposit policy in place? Okay. A lot of times where we don't have a deposit policy in place. And honestly, your client cancels the appointment, you didn't take the deposit. And now it's like, man, I just missed out on not only did I miss out on the appointment, but I didn't get anything. And now this person held up my calendar, for X amount of time, right? And because I didn't have anything in place, it was just all around a loss. Can anybody relate to that? That has happened to me, trust me. And it's not a good feeling. I mean, and to be honest, sometimes it's not a good feeling even when you do have a deposit policy. But I encourage you to at least do these things, right? Or maybe you're not using a booking site and you forgot to send a reminder text or, what have you. Trying to run your business without systems is going to constantly leave you in these type of situations because you are just human, and it's going to leave so much room for human error that it could be a bad reflection on your business overall. So if you are a beginner braider, even if you're a part-time, even it doesn't even matter what level that you are at. If you don't have a site, if you don't have a system that you set up on the front end to where your clients can come in, they could book their appointment, they could get their questions answered, they could see what you offer, they could see how much it costs. If you don't have these things visibly available for people today in 2025, I really truly believe you're really leaving your business up for potential losses. So yeah, this is something that is super, super important. And then you might even find that maybe you double booked yourself. I've done it, right? In the beginning, I didn't have a system and, either I double booked myself or maybe if I didn't double book myself per se, because I don't know if I've ever necessarily, I've double booked myself with other appointments, right? So like maybe I made a doctor's appointment at the same time as I made a like as a hair appointment or something like that. So I can't ever think of a time where I double booked actual clients, but it could happen, right? It could happen when we're not using things to help us navigate through these type of things and services that we offer. So I'll tell you a story really quick. I remember one time I was at Walmart shopping with my aunt, and this was like my early, early, early days of doing hair and of braiding. And so I was at Walmart and I was shopping with my aunt and I got this text message and like, when you get that text and it kind of like your stomach just drops, like I knew like when I saw this text message that it was going to be like something, right? And so I open up the text and it says, "Oh, I'm sitting here. I'm standing outside your door. I'm here for my daughter's appointment." And of course, now listen, don't leave me out here by myself. If this has ever happened to you, please let me know in the comments or, if you have any questions or a story you would like to add, go ahead and leave it in the comments. But, you know, in that early time of mine, and this was before I had a booking site, and actually was probably one of the reasons why I was like, you know what? From this day forward, I have to figure this out. Right. And I didn't know how to book, I didn't know how to use a booking site. I didn't know how to use any of that stuff. Hey, Shanti, how are you? So I didn't know how to use any of the software. I didn't know how to operate my booking site. I didn't know anything, but me standing at my door, or I'm sorry, me being at Walmart and my client standing at my door with her daughter. And I was like in a big shopping, like I was taking my aunt, if I'm not mistaken, I was taking her shopping and she had like a huge order. So it wasn't even one of those things where like, oh, you know, just leave your cart. Like, no, we had to finish it. And by the time, y'all know Walmart, okay? So by the time I would have gotten done, my client would have been waiting probably close to an hour, if not more, in order for me to get out of Walmart, get my aunt's groceries in the house, like all of the things, drop her off and everything like that. So that was one of the situations that really made me be like, okay, like I need a booking site and I need a booking site today. And I have to do whatever it is that I have to do in order to figure this out and get this up and running. Okay. So, yes, if this is one of the things that have happened to you and it's because you haven't set up your booking site, I strongly urge you to get your booking site together. Now, last week we talked about Acuity, but there are other booking sites, right? There's Acuity, there's Gloss Genius, there's Style Seat. Not my favorite, but it's out there. Um I mean, I've seen some braiders even use Booksy. Like, again, not my favorite. There's Vigero, right? So I was using Acuity for over 7 years. And then when we got the salon, we decided to, change to Vigero for some like staffing reasons and things like that, because we were trying to build staff and, whatever like that. But either way, you have to have something, okay? You have to have something. I don't want to say you have to, but I absolutely urge you to, before this braid season kicks off and before we're in the throes of the summer, it's like you don't try to, you know, this is one of those things where get ready before you have to be ready. Okay. So, Shanti, what booking site do you use? Are you using Acuity or are you using something else? Right. So, again, I oftentimes want to just like always drive this point home when it comes to us running these braiding businesses. And that's that you're not just braiding. Okay. I can say it again and again and again. And maybe we could replace that word with whatever it is that you do. You're not just braiding. You're not just locking. You're not just retwisting. You're not just weaving. You're not just doing nails, you're not just doing lashes, like you are running a business, okay? And honestly, if you are in this industry, chances are you are a solopreneur, okay? So what that means is that you are more than likely you are trying to do this all by yourself. You are trying to run the business. You're trying to keep up with the finances. You're trying to keep up with the software. You're trying to keep up with your content. You're trying to do all of these things, right? Again, like the slide says, you're prepping, you're posting, you're booking, you're managing, and that is not a side hustle, okay? News flash, that's not a side hustle. That is operations. And that's what we are doing as braiders every single day as beauty professionals every single day. We are so much more. We are doing so much more than just what the style requires for us to do, right? I was just at the shop today um doing a client's hair, and you know I was recording quite a bit of content while I was doing her hair, and just being in the shop by myself and having to be responsible for the camera and moving and shifting and turning her and moving the tripod and adjusting the lighting and trying to make sure that the braid is coming out good and trying to make sure that I'm engaging in conversation with her and that she is ultimately, comfortable and all of these things. It is a lot of motion that's happening that is required. So, you know, I need for all of us to understand that what we're doing is so much more. We are truly running businesses, okay? And I believe wholeheartedly that the more that we treat it as a business, the more that we will see that business kind of pay us back, right? And return to us all that we have poured into it. So, Shanti, I see that you are using Acuity. You said you wish that they have a better email system. And you know what? You are 1000% correct. So now this could be a workaround for you. I'm just thinking out loud. So just for those of you who may not know, Squarespace is a website company, and Squarespace is who owns Acuity. Okay. And sometimes, if I'm not mistaken, if you have a Squarespace website, Squarespace has integrated email marketing within its platform. And so, with that being said, you might be able to make all of those pieces connect. That was one of the issues that I have with Acuity. And I mean, for as great of a system as it is, I just would think that they would have their own natural integration when it comes to email marketing. But I do know that they integrate with other platforms, right? So another platform that Acuity uh naturally integrates with, right? So I don't want to get like too techie, but like one of the other programs that Acuity naturally integrates with, if I'm not mistaken, is MailChimp. Um, Also ConvertKit. Now, I do believe that MailChimp is going to be a lot less expensive than ConvertKit. So you could probably start off with a MailChimp account for free. And then eventually, if you want to move on to ConvertKit, or you can try setting up a website and going that way. So Okay, see, and I use Beacons as my email platform, which is great, but I have to like manually put my clients' emails in if they don't have my signups. So that's another thing. Like, and this is why this month I have been truly just dialing in on Shanti systems because there's so much on the back end that we just don't know as hair braiders and as stylists, right? There are so many things we don't always know what connects here and what connects here. And any time that there's a disconnect, it truly means that it is manual work for us. So if we don't do something that's naturally integrating where, okay, the person is booking on your site, but it's not being populated on your list, there's a disconnect. So what I used to do is I had my ConvertKit connected and oh, I'm really giving deep strategy right now. Y'all know I can't help it. But if this is something that you need help with, I mean, please feel free to book a strategy call and I can help walk you through the steps and help you get things you know what, like set up and everything. But one of the things that I did was I was using ConvertKit and I had that integrated and connected to Acuity. And then what would happen was that when I had my forms completed on Acuity, when my clients would complete the form and I had like an email permission because sometimes, there's these permissions that we have to have and we want to make sure that that we are using all the proper permissions and everything like that. So I would have them agree on their form that they are agreeing to receive emails from me. When they clicked yes, that would trigger the email marketing platform, and then it would automatically put them to my list. So then when I would go to email market, I knew exactly who was on, not exactly who was on there, but they would already be automatically on there. And then there was no manual step for me to do as far as adding them manually. So that's just a little tidbit to just throw. Yes, and it becomes so much harder for follow-up emails. Yes. So, another thing that you can do, there are some more things that you can do in Acuity. I'm actually working with a student right now, and we are setting all of this up in the back end for her. But there are some things in Acuity as well that you can set up automatically. And so, follow-up emails, as far as like once the client actually has an appointment with you can set up an automatic follow-up email if you wanted to ask them, how did they enjoy their appointment or things like that, just to help get additional feedback. And then you can always throw, like, if your business is listed on Google, you could always throw in your Google link and ask them to leave a review on on your Google page or what have you. So, yeah, there's always options. Okay. Let's just be encouraged. There are always options. Sometimes it takes a little working around, but I mean, typically there is always an option. So, these are just things that I love to talk about because they're important to us as again as solopreneurs. They are important to us because we don't have the capacity, right, to be the ones who are always trying to manually, piece by piece, put these things together, right? Like being responsible for getting the appointment, booking the appointment, getting it in our calendar, making sure that we're putting that time down, like correctly, making sure we're doing that. Um, and then, sending follow-up email. Like, oh, it's too much. It's too much. But with the right systems, you could put these things on automation and let the system do the heavy lifting for us in our business. And then it's so helpful for us when we are by ourselves that we have these systems in place to do the uh heavy lifting. So, yes, I need to edit my follow-up emails, but I think no one reads. Ah, I have to agree. I mean, I think that in 2025, we are so inundated. We are so inundated with content. We are so inundated with emails. I mean, we are so marketed to every single moment of every single day. Like, I don't know if you have ever signed up for like or input your in or if you've ever put your email into like one of the wig companies or something like that. I mean, the level of marketing is wild. I really like low key, I feel like it's low key harassment because it's just it blows my mind that literally multiple times a day, multiple um emails, text messages. I mean, I was getting emails that was saying like your cart XYZ and I'm like, I never even put anything in my cart. Like why am I getting cart abandonment emails when I never even attempted to, purchase anything. So, yeah, we're being constantly marketed to and I think that people are I don't want to say tired, but it's like it's just so many mental decisions to make each and every single day as these like little notifications come in. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I think that a lot of these things no, for real, more like every hour. No, it's bad. It's terrible. Um, but yeah, I think that having a system that helps us be consistent irregardless of whether or not um our emails are being read. I do email marketing and I get some okay, pretty decent open rates and things like that. Um but I think for us as the service provider, as long as we're coming through with genuine intentions, right? Genuine intentions. When I'm sending my emails out, I'm sending my emails out because I'm really hoping that it's going to help somebody. I'm really hoping it's going to help someone to take their business a little bit more seriously. I'm not necessarily, if someone decides to purchase a product that I have, or if someone decides to, enroll in coaching, I mean, I'm thrilled. Like, thrilled. I'm thrilled because I just light up and shine when it comes to being able to help someone else, especially in this niche. But I think when we just keep our intentions genuine, like, hey, look, I just genuinely want to know if you had a good appointment and if you would, it cost you nothing to leave me this Google review, but it means, it makes a world of difference for, the future of my business. And you just keep it light, chill, and cool. I don't think, just stay consistent with it and then, that's it, and all you can do is whoever gets it or whoever fills it out is who fills it out. But I get it because I don't unsubscribe. No, exactly, exactly, exactly. So, all right, let's keep the conversation flowing. Shanti, I'm so glad that you're here. I'm still getting accustomed to again being on a new platform, so I just appreciate the fact that those of you who have come over from Instagram, it really does mean a lot to me. Eventually, I would love to stream Braid Talk Tuesday on all platforms, but for right now, until I can learn this new system and all of the things, it'll just be here on YouTube for now. So let me go ahead and I love this. I love this. I've been thinking about this. If you've even been watching any bit of my content, even over on Instagram, I have just been in this season where it's like, Lord, I just need to do what I'm doing. But this whole like rat race, this whole like just trying to do, and don't even know what the end result is. Like, I need a break from that. Right. And I just need to be super intentional right now. And I need to do things that feel really good for me. Right. And so, right now I wanted to share that, it's not more hustle sometimes that we need. It might just be that you need more help, right? For me, it might be I need more rest, I need more mental clarity, whatever it is for you, but it's not always that more hustle is needed. So many times we're hearing like hustle harder, post more, do this, do that, everything's more, 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 but it's like do we ever really sit back to take the time and really find out what is the ultimate goal, right? My husband and I, we had a conversation yesterday, and it was very good, very needed, very, insightful. But before we even got into deeper depths of the conversation, the first question that we identified was, what is the ultimate goal? What is that? Because if we don't know what the ultimate goal is, right? What is the point? And so many times in running a business, in approaching a new venture or whatever, sometimes we lose sight. And it's like we started off knowing what that goal was. We started off or feeling like we know what the goal is. But then somewhere down the line, as the business begins to build, the responsibilities begin to rise, the bills start coming in, the book is being filled, all these things, the content is needing to be pushed out. Somewhere along the line, we oftentimes we forget what the whole point of it was to begin with. So I'm challenging you to take a moment, ask yourself, what is the ultimate goal of what it is that I'm doing? Or am I just doing things because I'm just in this hamster wheel that I don't know how to get off of? Right. So we had to sit down, we had a conversation, we asked each other, what is our ultimate goal? Right. And he was able to share with me what his ultimate goal was concerning this conversation. And I was able to share with him what my ultimate goal was. And we were able to merge that thing together. And we were like, man, okay, now we're moving forward with vision of what is the end result? What is the goal? What is the place that we're trying to get to? Right. And so sometimes even in our braid business, it's not about us needing more hustle. It's not about doing more, more, more. It's more of why? Okay. Not more, 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 but why? Okay. So let's see. I found out my state requires a cosmetology license to braid. So I haven't even considered doing a booking site until I decide if I want to move forward in obtaining a license. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Um, yeah, that makes sense because okay, so in your situation, I understand that you're saying, what is the point of doing all the work of having a booking site? What's the point of doing all that if you don't even know if you want to move forward in obtaining a license? And, honestly, Tessie, I found myself there too. You know, there was a point where, I was braiding and, I didn't know if I wanted to go to school. I mean, I found out like, okay, same as you, like, okay, my state requires for me to have my license, to have my cosmetology license. I couldn't go anywhere to get the natural hair braiders license because it wasn't even in my area. So that wasn't going to work. Um, and then it was like, okay, but I need this booking site. Like, what am I supposed to do? Right? Like, what is it that I'm supposed to do? And so I understand that if you're feeling like, I'm not sure if I want to do this. But if you're not going to have a booking site, I still suggest you trying to have some type of system, right? So before I had a booking site, what I did was I kept a spreadsheet, right? That was the thing that helped me, I feel the most, was my spreadsheet. And you know, that spreadsheet was very intense because I was making sure that I still was taking the person's first name, their last name, you know, um, the style that they got, their method of payment, because, I still wanted to make sure that even though I didn't have my actual license, but at that time, I still wanted to report the income. Okay. So it's a tough situation. And then fast forward to now, my state got rid of the requirement. So it was like I went to cosmetology school, got my cosmetology license, took on thousands of dollars in debt, went to school for 10 months, and not only did my school close, they no longer require a braiding license in my state. So or they no longer require like a cosmetology license or a natural hair braiding license in my state. So I mean, it's good for those who are coming up and they don't have to do it, but for somebody like myself who went through all that, it is quite annoying that that they changed that. So yeah. So it's like the slide says, you don't need more clients if your systems are shaky. You need structure that keeps up with your growth. So, we kind of highlighted on a booking site today, but before I had a booking site, I was, like I said, I was trying my best to keep things in a spreadsheet. Just having a system, it's going to pay off, period. Right? Whether that's a booking site or whatever else that you decide is going to work for you. There's some people, right? I know a lady and she has two locations, right? And to this day, she's like in the waxing field. And to this day, she still keeps a handwritten appointment book, right? And of course, like I am like, girl, like get a booking site. And I think she since has, but we all have things that are true to us, right? So whatever it is for you, I just encourage you to make sure that you are using systems in your business. So if you are like, you know what, this is something that I feel like I need to have need to have more conversation about. um Thank you so much, I appreciate you responding. Oh, you're welcome. Oh my gosh, you're welcome. But yeah, if this is something that you feel like, oh, I would really like to set some things up. I would really like to talk further. I really need some strategy. Like, I want you to either reach out to me directly. Okay. You could reach out to me um, on my Instagram. So let me just do something real quick. I am going to try to see if I can do this. Y'all, I'm still learning this system myself. So let me see if I can share this tab here with you. So okay, so you guys could see it. Awesome. And I want to show you where you could reach out to me. Okay. So you can come over to my Instagram. Okay. And there is this link here. So let's see. Let's see if I could really do this. Let's see. Okay. Oh, okay. There we go. So you guys can see this is another reason. Um, Let me just say this real quick. This is another reason why I wanted to be able to come over on YouTube, because I feel that there are more things that I can do going live on YouTube than I can on Instagram. So hopefully you are liking this new layout a little bit better. And I hope that it's a little bit more, engaging and everything like that. So let me get back to this here. And if you see this area here, the links.co the slash Neek Lynn, if you go to that link there, you can actually go and book any of my services, if you will. Okay. So you could see here, hopefully you could see, let's see, let me share this tab instead. So this is my link in bio, if you will, right? And this is something any of us can do. Okay. Like seriously, this is something that any of us can do. if you're a braider, if you're in the beauty industry, having one of these gives people a place to check out other things that you may have to offer outside of your services. So if you go here, you can click literally on my website, and let me share this so that you can see my website, and you'll see I have so much, guys. I have a coaching program, which this is a 6-week coaching program, and I just love this program. It's my From Braider to Boss coaching program. It's for 6 weeks. I'm working with someone in this program right now, and we're just having such an awesome time getting all of her things together. Um, if you are looking for something that's not so intensive and you're like, no, I don't know if I need that. Um, you can always book a strategy call. So I'm not going to go through my entire website, but I wanted you to be able to see exactly what I have here. So you can do a strategy call, you can do the 6-week coaching, totally up to you, whichever you decide. But I'd be more than happy to work with you further on building your braiding business. Okay. So now let's see if I can get off of this. Let's see. And I'll also link this link once the video is posted to YouTube. I will also link the link. So, do we have any questions before we end today's episode of Braid Talk Tuesday? Any questions? There we go. I'll give you a couple seconds. I just have to say, while I wait for your questions, I just have to say that, I love being a breeder. Okay. I was telling somebody today, like, as the style was progressing, and once we actually were finished with the style, but we were almost finished. And I could feel the excitement rising that the style was almost finished. And the feeling that I get is like, oh my goodness, this is so nice. Or it's just that feeling of excitement, like, this is what I created. Like, wow, this is stunning, or this is, whatever. And I said to her, I said, when that feeling ends, or when that feeling doesn't happen for me, my time behind the chair is probably about up. Because how many know, like, you could be behind the chair, you could be braiding for hours and hours and hours. And that feeling when you're done and you see the work of your hands, you see what you were able to do. It's just a feeling like literally like no other. So I just want to, say to you, I love braiding. I love the braiding business. Um, I love coaching. It's my truest gift. I always say braiding is my talent, but teaching is my gift. Um, So if you know that you are struggling and you're just kind of walking through this path, and you're just like, man, I really just need somebody to hold my hand. I need somebody to be in my corner. I need somebody to just walk me through and walk through this with me, because I'm tired of just feeling like I'm doing everything by myself and I don't even have anybody to like bounce off of, or, whatever. Please feel free to reach out to me. All right, let's see. How do you maintain your body while braiding? Because lately I've been coming home with my knees being swollen and pain in my shoulder. Oh, Shanti, yeah. So that's a great question, actually. That's a really great question. Um, I don't know how I'm I don't even know if I have an answer. I don't even know how I maintain to be no. So here's me, Shanti. One of the things that I have learned, right? If anybody, sees my post on Instagram, I often joke about, being this big age of 38, okay? Being a 38-year-old braider. Braiding is not easy on the body by any means at all. Literally at all. Um, and so I think for me is that I had to learn excuse me, that if I was going to have a long lasting career in the hair braiding niche, that I was going to have to learn how to pace myself, right? So I don't braid every single day. That's number one. I don't braid every single day. If I do have a super long and tedious style, um, I try my best if I can to have a break in between. Um, so that's that. Now, if your knees are swollen, um, it could just be from the standing, the long periods of standing. So I would say that you might want to consider having some breaks in between your style or while you're completing the style. So there's times where I might have a stool that's next to me. And if I feel that, my lower back is getting a little tired or, my feet are hurting or something like that, then I will try my best to take some moments to sit. And believe it or not, one of the things that I've been doing lately is if I have a braid appointment and I've been braiding for a while, I try to do a little bit of walking. I don't know if that helps or not, but I try to do a little bit of walking. And for shoulders, I would say that sometimes if you're experiencing shoulder pain, it could be overuse of the muscle. So you might have to try doing like heating pads and things like that. So I just say pace yourself. I know we see so many of these styles online, and I think they're very underestimated. Would anybody agree that a lot of the styles that we see online, I think that the times that they take and everything like that is super underestimated. I had shared actually today, and I meant to post the final. Um, I don't even know if I'll be able to pull this up or not, but I had a young lady today, and her hair was, well past her shoulder, full density, everything else. And, a style that, you know, probably should have taken me like, let's see, like 10:30, 11:30, 12:30, 1:30. So yeah, it was like about should have been like about around about a 4 hour style or 3.5 hour style. Probably took me like 5 hours, and again, like these styles are just so underestimated. The time that they take, um, the level of detail that goes into them. I will try to post it in my story later. I was going to try to pull it up, but I don't even want to break anything. So I don't want to do too much. But yeah, like they're just very underestimated. So, we just have to like really pace ourselves and understand that braiding is manual labor. Okay. It's not, you're not just like sitting on a couch taking pictures all day. Like, no, this is manual labor. You're on your feet, you're using your hands. All parts of your body is engaged, your shoulders, your back, you know, your legs, your feet, your fingers, like everything. Braiding takes a lot. Okay. And so, yeah, absolutely pacing yourself, in knowing that that's okay, right? That's okay. That's another reason why, oh, this is a whole different conversation, but sometimes that's another reason why we need to make sure that our pricing reflects what it actually and truly takes in order to get that style completed. But we'll talk about that, um, of course, in another episode of Braid Talk Tuesday. Guys, I thank you so much for being here with me yet again. I thank you truly from the bottom of my heart for being here with me, especially navigating different issues and just all of that stuff. It's always my honor, my pleasure. And I thank God to be able to just talk and share and prayerfully help those who, are in need of really building better braid businesses. So, again, thank you for joining the live with me here tonight on YouTube. And as always, I will talk to you in the next one. God bless.